If you had advice for a young band up and coming, what would you tell them?
Make sure you use guitars, and some of these bands, I suppose they're out there, and maybe because I don't go out much, I'm not aware of the younger bands, but I would just say it's not an easy ride, and if you're expecting, instant kind of gratification other than playing your music, that can be very frustrating. So get a thick skin, but don't give up, because if you really love to play, you should stick at it,
Guitarist, singer, and songwriter Ray Dafrico has been in it since 1981. The interview was recorded during a rogue lawnmower attack, which, thanks to Ray's patience, we went ahead and saved. So stay tuned until about 26 minutes and 30 seconds into our chat when we're talking about Catwoman and Marianne from Gilligan's Island.
Welcome to the Better Each Day podcast radio show with Bruce Hilliard. Today and every day, reaching out for innovative ideas in every way. Today's show is brought to you by your future. It comes with a lifetime guarantee. Make a better each day now, baby. Better in every way.
Let me start over. Hi, Ray. Hi, Ray.
Okay.
Congrats. Don't interrupt me. Hi, Ray. Congratulations on really a long career. What, you've been probably in it for 40 years and you're like 18 years old?
Oh, yeah. Thanks for having me, first of all. And yeah, I've been playing since I was 17. I'm like 54 now, so however, I can't do math, but quite a long time. So, I've kind of obsessed with it. I can't seem to get away from it. Not that I want to, but occasionally frustrating. It's a lot frustrating, but I still love to play music, and I love to write songs, so I keep doing it.
Are you obsessed with coming up with wow, that's a good song title, or wow, that's a cool name for a band, or that's a
Yeah, I am. I was actually wanted to have I think I have a talent for naming bands, ridiculous naming bands.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I wanted to have a I'll name your band service. For $100, I give you a name.
Nobody does that.
Because I seem to just all day long just be coming up with band names. Like, oh, that's a good band name.
Those are the best band meetings there are when you're coming up with names. You never settle on one, but they come up with like Vomit Launch or Captain Piss Gums or stuff like that. They're really good.
Yeah, and you end up with like the worst one out of the group because poor guys can never decide on anything.
Yeah, we got to do something. What do we got to call it? I don't know. How about the Beatles?
Yeah.
No, that's goofy. It's a bug.
It worked. Or the Who. I mean, at the time, who would have thought the Who was a good name? But now that there is a Who, it makes total sense.
It does. What the heck? That's another good name for a band. What were your influences early on?
Well, I started early on with like really bubblegum kind of stuff, which I still love. People tend to write that stuff off, but if it wasn't for ridiculous songs like, and I think they're great songs because I'm a pop kind of writer, but like Yummy, 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 and
oh, God.
Chewy, Chewy, and Surfing Bird, and, I had these K-Tel records that really influenced me, kind of like the Ramones, that's the kind of stuff that influenced the Ramones as well. Simple songs that kind of primal that got your attention, early on, and then I kind of morphed into more complex things later, but that's what got me interested anyway.
Hook heavy songs too. Yeah,
a lot of people consider it very simple music, but I'm not a snob, so
I gather that it's great stuff. You've performed with The Clash, The Ramones, REM, Bo Diddley, Joan Jett, and it's a half-hour show, so I'm going to have to stop right there. But wow.
Yeah. Well, my first band, the Nightporters, I mean, we were like a angry teen combo, as we would say. We just kind of hit at the right time. late 70s, early 80s music was really great, I think. Most 70s music I like, in 60s music, but it kind of, for me, tapered off around 85, but we were lucky enough to, when a lot of these bands are touring, to open for a lot of them, because we were on the road all the time. And there was a local punk club, kind of famous now in Atlanta at the time, called the 688 Club. You might have seen the T-shirt in a lot of movies, like Clueless and stuff.
Yeah, I have.
They stole it from the Public Image Limited logo, but it says 688. So we opened for a lot of people there. We were kind of like the house band. And then, we were friends with R.E.M.
Cool.
And, the Replacements and that whole scene. So we were just kind of involved in it, So great stuff to tell your grandkids.
Well, I'm listening. The listeners love to hear it too. I get a lot of comments for people from that era, like you say, 85 and prior. And why do you think the music has survived the test of time? Are they just good songs, or the bands were iconic? I'm not sure. You tell me.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for songs and hooks. Kind of like, I think Mike Campbell, who's one of my favorites, Tom Petty's guitar player, it's one of my favorite quotes is, "Don't bore us, get to the chorus."
Yeah.
I like kind of songs that have great hooks. I tend to do that, or try to do that in my songs that have really catchy hooks. That to me is like kind of the key, and really rhythmic kind of songs.
It's true.
A combination of the two.
You can't walk away from hearing one of your songs without knowing what the title of the song is.
Because I probably say it 100 times.
No, it works. It's a magic formula that's tried and true, and wow, it can be done so many different ways. It's like a snowflakes. God, I'm poetic. Yeah.
Yeah, just something like an earwig from Star Trek that gets in your ear, and
oh, Jesus.
You're stuck with it. I have a bad time with that. I'll go through. I get hooked in these songs and I can't stop singing them in my head. And the latest one is "Can't Get It Out of My Head" by ELO.
Yeah, I can't get it out of my head.
Yeah, because Fountains and Wayne actually covered it, another one of my favorite bands, and they did a really good, I think they just did it live maybe, but that one's been stuck in my head recently.
Yeah, so. This is a beautiful moment in my life. I go for snowflake as a metaphor, and you go for a flesh-eating parasite, so it says a lot, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
What are a couple songs you want to talk about?
Well, I have a new CD out called Tunnel Visions, which was recorded in New York a little while ago, not too long ago, but it's kind of a pun on, I'm from New York City originally, and, the tunnels in New York, and it's also a takeoff on Television, the New York band, plus kind of how I've been feeling since Trump got elected. It seems like everything's been like tunnel vision. That, and also, just the fact that I kind of feel like I have a tunnel vision in that, I don't want to say career, but as long as I've been doing this, I try to stay focused.
You're focused
on my writing. So it has kind of multiple meanings, but not to ramble on here, but
that's why I have you,
I like most... So, to ramble?
I Googled ramble and you came up. Yeah.
Ask anyone I know. They can't shut me up,
And I'm having some coffee here, some Seattle coffee.
Okay.
I'm going to be rambling here as soon as that kicks in,
well, I like everything on it, really, but some of the standouts that, there's a song called Rejected, which Katja Royden from the Pogues sings on.
The Pogues.
She was married to Elvis Costello for a while, and she was up in New York, and we're Facebook friends, and she came down to the studio and banged out some wonderful vocals with her lovely voice, and so that's one of my favorites.
Tell me about Rejected. That's really a cool song.
Oh, thanks a lot. Explain it. I guess that's just, I can't really pinpoint single influence. You know, a lot of my songs are like combination of influences and just stuff I make up. So I think that's just a kind of angry punk rock song about, you know, feeling rejected in various ways, you know, God, every day. I mean, I live in Atlanta where the traffic is awful, maybe a step below LA, but that's one thing. I sit in the car all day long. Not that's really rejecting me, but it's a cause for anger. But, you know, past relationships, you know, whatever, you know, there's multiple things that could be read into that song.
The inspiration behind Give It a Try?
Well, that was one of those where there actually wasn't an inspiration. It was probably just the guitar riff. So the words kind of came after. I mean, sometimes you'll have an idea with the words or a title, and you'll put the music to it. But this is one when I was just came up with the riff, and the words just kind of followed the feel of the song. So yeah, I don't, you know, it's kind of just like, because a lot of my songs are really upbeat sounding and happy, but the words are really depressing and negative. So I think I was trying to write a positive song.
Sometimes we can stand each other, sometimes we look the other way, sometimes we don't even bother, sometimes everything's okay. I know we got a lot of reasons not to, we're looking for a reason why we should give it a try. We're gonna give it a try. a try. We're gonna give it a try. We're gonna give it a try. We're gonna give it a try. If we could only get along with each other, we could find where the riches lie. If we could keep things out of the gutter, we could try to give it a try. We could try to give it a try. We could try to give it a try. We're gonna give it a try. We're gonna give it a try.
Do some songs just write themselves? Do you write them quickly, or do you sit and ponder and go, well, I got to come up with a better lyric for that, or something like that?
Yeah, they tend to. I mean, you know, I don't really ever sit around and play guitar because I don't have time, so this stuff builds up. And when you finally get down to pick up an acoustic, it just kind of comes out.
Yeah.
And then I have all these things floating around in my head, and then, you know, I've been writing for a long time, so I just naturally know where things need to go arrangement wise, and then, you know, I'll have some lyrics and I'll just put them into place. You know, I'm not a technology kind of person, which I know nowadays that's what everything's all about. But I finally discovered on my iPhone that, you know, you can have these voice recordings, so I'll just put down ideas on there. Sometimes I'll even hum out a whole song on the phone and then go back in with the guitar, and it's kind of half written, you know.
That's exactly what I was going to ask, is do you write it down on paper, or do you record it on something really quickly? And you record it on your phone, and I'm sure when it plays back, it sounds like Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, doesn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah, they sound like
exactly. At the time you think it's amazing, and you put it down, you go back and listen to it and go, what was I thinking? That's the stupidest thing ever, you know. But occasionally there's bits and pieces that, you know, you can use. I'll write down potential names for songs, and I'll have the idea in my head when I wrote it down, and then I forget. So I'm like, what was the melody to this? I can't remember. So I might apply it to something else. I don't know, or I'll just throw it out, you know. But I do have like reams of paper full of just ranting and stuff. But, you know, we're all busy people, so I go, this is going to be a songwriting day, but it never happens like that, you know.
Yeah.
It's like, today, Wednesday, Ray's songwriting day, but, you know, I get busy doing other things, you know.
Yeah, life gets in the way of the plans sometimes.
Which is kind of good because, you know, when we first started, it was intimidating to go play. But, you know, I mean, we started playing high school parties when we were 17, and the leap from practicing to playing in front of people was huge, but we decided, well, if we book a show, we won't have a choice. That was kind of our mantra.
Yeah.
For our whole time is like, well, we might not be ready, but book it, and we'll have to be ready, right? You know, so
good plan.
You kind of force yourself into it, you know.
You wrote a song about Tina Louise, who played Ginger on Gilligan's Island, among other things. That wasn't the only thing she ever did, but that's what she's known for best. Okay.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
Well, I'd like to say my first girlfriend was Julie Newmar when I was, 4?
Yes, you could. You
I
start
was a
young.
Batman fan, and Catwoman was the first woman that really did anything for me
At 4?
and still does, by the way. And
I was
and wanna
Emma
say-
Peel from the Avengers.
Well, yeah, they're all kind of that spy.
Oh, hold on a second. I got a lawnmower going by. Jesus. Thanks a lot, buddy. That might be the end of the interview.
That lawnmower is right out of the Monkees song. What is it? Pleasant Valley Sunday.
The
Which I think Neil Diamond might have wrote. Or,
No, it was Carole King
Carole
and
King.
Jerry Goffin. Yeah, and it has reference to freshly mowed lawns or
A
something.
lawnmower. That's the only song that I know of
That
has
has-
a reference to mowing lawns.
Yeah, you'd think the Ramones would have had something about a lawnmower in it. I don't know. They had sniffing glue and beat on the brat.
No, theirs was a chainsaw.
Yeah.
They took it one step further.
Yeah. Why would you want a lawnmower, especially a riding lawnmower? Those are for wimps.
Yeah, I don't think they ever saw a lawnmower in New York. Probably, maybe.
Oh, they mow pavement.
Well, my grandparents and parents are from Philadelphia. They lived in a row house there, and I used to spend a lot of time there. And I was likened it to living in London or something. But they had a patch of grass on the back. Their lawnmower was one of those blade turning things.
Yeah, a
'Cause,
real mower is what it's called.
You'd be done in like 5 seconds. So I think they let me push that some.
Nothing more fun than that, huh?
No, that was pre-internet. That was fun.
Yeah. Let me tell you, kids,
It
we
was
had a
like-
push lawnmower. It was nothing like it.
Yeah, I worship my grandfather. He was a Italian plumber, and he would take me out in his truck and go to bars. And I didn't know that he drank too much, but it exposed me to being in bars at a very young age. That's a very 70s kid kind of thing. Like, don't tell your grandma. I was like, no, this is the best thing ever. I'm going to be in a band.
Called the Lawnmowers.
Yeah.
So back to Tina Louise. See, I was a Mary Ann guy. I wasn't a Ginger guy. So I want to have...
Well, I kind of like them both, but it seemed like Tina Louise was a better song title.
Probably so.
I don't know. I had more of a story with because she was a movie star. Like Marianne didn't have much of a story.
No. She looked great in cutoffs, but no story.
But I think I am friends with Donna Loren, who played her, right, on Facebook. I think we are actually friends. But but the reason I wrote the song is because I'm a big Kinks fan, and the Kinks always had kind of those kitschy kind of lyrics about, like Holiday in Waikiki, and songs about surfing, but they were kind of liking it and making fun of it at the same time. I don't know.
There she was, a technicolor, a sparkling starlet, like no other, stranded on an uncharted deserted isle. A movie star who looks so gorgeous, like tiki torches from unknown sources, with flaming red hair, and pouting ruby red lips. She's Tina Louise. Tina Louise. She's never needed any work done. She'll always be the last word in stardom. She's Tina Louise, star of the stage and screen. Always acted like she was still on the back while I always knew her lines and how to stay hot. Sultry voice, a guaranteed on the guest list. She's Tina Louise. Tina Louise. All right.
band was described as the Kinks with you as a front man. Did I get that right?
The Kinks with Keith Richards
With
running the Kinks.
That's it. Yeah. Keith Richards. So
which is actually pretty accurate. Those are, two of my biggest influences. And I my playing style is a lot like Keith, and my personality can be a lot like Keith as well.
He's like.
And I got to meet Keith and Ronnie once, which is pretty. Is a highlight of my life.
The best.
They didn't disappoint. I will say that.
What were they like?
Were everything that.
Were they fun?
They were fun. They were everything that you would imagine they would be. There's no hype there. They are exactly what they are. That's the greatest thing about them. Like they didn't let me down at all. Like I got the Rolling Stones experience. It's like delinquent teenagers in the bathroom, at the high school,
Okay. Count me in.
But I will say that Keith was, I could understand him a lot better than Ronnie.
Oh, really?
You might think, yeah, he was actually very easy to understand.
That lawn's going to look really good today. I want you to know that. You're not going to be here to see it, but just trust me.
That sounds like an industrial lawnmower. That's heavy duty.
Ronnie Wood has a talk show, not unlike what I'm trying to do here, feudally, with a lawnmower in the background.
I love, I've seen that on YouTube. I love it.
So,
he's a good guest.
Yeah, he's very good at it, and well, he should be. But it's kind of hard to adjust from just being a songwriter, guitar player, and everything to hosting guests, and keeping them entertained with background sounds like leaf blowers and chainsaws and the things that only my show presents. So Ronnie does not have that going on. He's actually in a studio. I saw him with Paul McCartney recently. Pretty cool. And they were doing like Buddy Holly stuff. And they both kind of knew the licks. And it was like, to watch them praise somebody like Buddy Holly, it's like, God, it kind of connects the dots. Now I understand where you guys got your ideas and stuff, That's the coolest thing.
Exactly. A friend of mine who I've recorded with named Rob Fraboni, actually, he worked for the band and did stuff with the Beach Boys and some with the Stones. And he actually met, was it Norman Petty, songwriter that wrote a lot of the Buddy Holly stuff. He was telling me about the studio that they recorded a lot of that in, where they had 2 microphones, I think it was.
Oh, wow.
Like one for Buddy, one for the band. And that's how they got that sound, is because it was all mic placement. They didn't really have a choice. So, and it's the same, like you were saying with Sgt. Pepper, how they, with 4 tracks, they'd innovate to create, what they did. But back in the early days, it was all, this record sounded great, but they did it all with like 1 or 2 mics,
Yeah,
he's back.
I'm gonna go out and shoot this guy. I swear to God. I think.
Is he wearing the Ramones pinhead outfit? That would be
great. So, back to the recordings of yesteryear. They did get creative, and you did have to know your songs really well, because it was so darn expensive to be in a studio.
Right.
It had to be 1 or 2 takes and you're done. So it's remarkable that some of those recordings were that good.
Yeah.
This lawn is not actually that big. I think he's just out there messing with us. He heard you were going to be on the show, and he said, I'm going to mess.
Yeah, that's the story of my life.
Ray Dafrico is there. Let's get the loud one out.
Don't let him talk.
Yes, we're being censored. Have you ever felt like that? Really?
I don't know. It
doesn't appear so, because you say what you say.
We were fairly notorious in the Atlanta area, and I think that's where our paranoia developed from. I don't know. We kind of had a reputation, and you start thinking a while that people are out to get you. I'm not really that paranoid, though.
I don't think so.
I just now I'm paranoid of lawnmowers, though.
Oh God, they're murder, and I know if I go out there,
I need someone to cut my grass, so tell them to drive across the country and.
Yeah. Okay. If you hear on the 5 o'clock news that there's a Ryder lawnmower headed east from Seattle.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's this guy. And if you had advice for a young band up and coming, what would you tell them?
Make sure you use guitars, and some of these bands, I suppose they're out there, and maybe because I don't go out much, I'm not aware of the younger bands. But I would just say it's not an easy ride, and if you're expecting, instant kind of gratification, other than playing your music, that can be very frustrating. So get a thick skin, but don't give up, because if you really love to play, you should stick at it. It's changed so much from when I started playing. We used to book our shows with a payphone on the corner.
Wow.
And nowadays you have a lot of tools like websites and email and cell phones that we didn't have access to. So use those to your advantage. But I think there's pros and cons to all that, though. The most important thing is write good songs. And the secret, if you have two guitars in the band, make sure the guitars aren't playing the same part. That's the secret.
You play a Telecaster mainly, am I correct?
Yeah, I have a lot of guitars, but that's kind of my go-to. My favorite kind of guitar would be a Telecaster. Yeah.
So
they're indestructible. I've tried to smash them, and you can't.
Oh, really?
They're like, the old ones. I have a '73. It's made out of like ash, which is this really heavy, strong wood, and they're pretty. They're the working man's guitar,
So Pete Townsend probably wouldn't want one of those because they're too hard to break.
I'm sure he smashed those too.
I know.
But he probably had to work harder at it,
Yeah, well, he's getting kind of old now. You don't want him to get hurt breaking a guitar.
Yeah, I saw them a couple years ago. He didn't smash anything, but he still had his acerbic wit about him, which is one thing that I love. He's not afraid to voice his opinions on stage, which is one thing I love about him,
Ray Dafrico, thank you so much for your time. We're going to listen to some of your music.
Sure thing.
Yeah.
Listening to the Better Each Day podcast radio show with Bruce Hilliard. We'll be back with a new horizon, but until then, honor the future. It comes with a lifetime guarantee.
And we're all just trying to make the next day a bit better.